Hello, and very happy to see you on our channel. In this video, we give you a piece of breaking news. Meghan Markle slapped her face with the latest extravagant claims about social media, another example of her hypocrisy. Last night, Meghan Markle has insisted that all social media users are like people who are addicted to drugs during her latest virtual summit appearance, despite spending many years as a prolific Instagram user. The 39-year-old drew the bold comparison during Fortune's Most Powerful Women Next Gen Virtual Summit on Tuesday afternoon, an online event that was reserved for invited guests willing to pay a $1,750 fee. There are very few things in this world where you call the person who's engaging with it a user. People who are addicted to drugs are called users, and people who are on social media are called users, Meghan said. There is something algorithmically that is in there that is creating this obsession that I think is very unhealthy for a lot of people. Wow, most definitely Meghan Markle is so hypocritical. She is big time the definition of a user. Meghan has used people all her life for her own benefit and goals. Besides her prior past history of using her own family members and friends, it has been very clear how Meghan Markle was a user of the goodwill and good heart of the British people, of the royal family, and beyond belief, using Harry. She is also so hypocritical about her criticism of social media, when in fact she works non-stop to infiltrate herself in any virtual summit, any charity video just to be shown on social media. If Meghan supposedly does not care for social media, then why does she bring her own photographer to take pictures to show the world how grandiose she is? If she really did not like social media, then do things privately, like many other generous benefactors and philanthropists that do so much without bringing their own photographer in tow and participating in virtual summits to bolster their ego as she does. I just can't get over how weird and deranged she is. All she does in these Zoom chats is incessantly whine. Why on earth does she think that's a good idea? And didn't Harry complain about social media being like a drug the day before they launched their Sussex royal account? I honestly cannot fathom what passes through the empty caves they call heads. How does Harry live with her? LOL. Every one of these speeches seems to be another outlet for her to complain about something or other. I can't think of a single instance when this woman has used her platform to say something positive or uplifting, or for that matter, anything that is not about herself. I'm amazed that Fortune is charging people $1,750 to listen to this drivel. Back to this news. The former Suits star also seemed to deal with a thinly veiled blow to the royals, referring only to her husband's family as the institution, while discussing the couple's official Instagram account, which was shut down shortly after they quit their roles and moved to the U.S. Meghan went on to decry the lasting effects of social media, telling the summit's young participants, quote, "I don't even think people have started to scratch the surface of what social media is doing to us." Calling the royal family an institution is so low. These people welcomed her in, gave her a voice that she is still using. Nobody would want Meghan's hot take on anything if it wasn't for them. Harry said the royal family were Meghan's family she never had. Now they're just an institution? The institution paid for a very expensive wedding, along with the UK taxpayer. The institution paid for designer clothes, etc. The institution gave her the fame she has craved. The institution gave them a free house. She is totally disrespectful to her husband's family. The royal family did everything they could to make her feel welcome, and she has repaid them with nastiness and disrespect. She will never return to the UK after her recent antics, and I cannot take her or Harry telling people what to do. Hypocrites. They think they are above everything. How dare she compare social media to drugs when all she does is jump in front of a camera every week? Is this a joke? Sadly, Meghan's words, actions, and history are not making the world a better place. It's unfortunate she doesn't heed the advice of Mother Teresa. If you want to change the world, go home and love your family. Sometimes referenced as, if you want to bring peace to the whole world, go home and love your family. She will never be able to be a true humanitarian or leader for a good while, estranged from her two families. Plus, a user also points out, she has taken the example of social media users being like drug users or alcohol users from the documentary The Social Dilemma. These are not her words or opinions, but that of others. All this proves is that she is a complete and utter fake and is trying to take credit for someone else's work. By the way, I strongly suggest anyone who has not seen the documentary to watch it, especially if you have kids who use any form of social media platform. Indeed, while Meghan has not had a presence on social media for several months now, she has been happy to use other digital platforms to promote her ideas and beliefs, with the former actress taking part in dozens of virtual summits and appearances over the last 6 months. This online event is the latest in a long line of summit appearances made by Meghan over the past 6 months. In October alone, Meghan has made 6 digital appearances, from serving as speaker at this latest virtual summit, to her first podcast over the weekend, to a pre-recorded conversation with Nobel laureate Malala Yousafzai. For someone who has identified as a feminist with an anti-oppressive lens, this contradicts all she identifies with. To diagnose and label is offensive and undermining to people who are struggling with addiction. This counters her social justice perspective of self, as addiction is a complex interaction of marginalization, vulnerability, and intergenerational trauma. To reflect on something in such a negative manner and yet not recognize your statements undermine people who you say you stand for? The opposite of addiction is a connection. Consider by telling people what to do or how to think, you drive disconnection. Not only me, but many fans also slammed Meghan. A fan blasted, "Oh, shut up, Meghan. Funny how you disassociate yourself from people and situations when you cannot control them. I will not write it on here, but there's a name for someone the likes of you." Whenever you are not in control of a situation or can control the narrative, you make statements like this, belittling. Do you sit there in your mansion and make this shit up when you're bored? No one had heard of you until you met Harry, and now you are some authority on how we should live and think? The institution is what gave you a platform in the first place, but you were put in your place because you showed no respect for the Queen and other royals more senior to your husband. You got high on yourself and thought you were better and more important. When you didn't get your way, you ran away and now refer to the royal family as the institution. Typically, you and the majority of us have seen right through you a long time ago. That Muppet you're married to obviously hasn't. And yet, she will come out with a phrase, visit, that William and Catherine just did or say. For example, Catherine spoke with college students about how college students have been affected by corona, mental health. Harry and Meghan then had to meet with college students on their mental health. William said in his documentary that being a parent has changed his perspective, and now he feels like he needs to leave the world a better place for them. Meghan just said the same thing about Archie. She is a piece of work. Another fan added, she's a liar, as only a few days ago she said she was the most trolled, so she does check in and read what people said about her. She's also impolite and trashy, referring to her in-laws as the institution. She needs education in politeness. She's a textbook narc, as many have said. She is devaluing Harry, who is only Harry, Archie already, poor baby, who is their only little one, and of course the British royal family, who they are only the institution. As for herself, everybody must refer to her as Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex, in full. She needs that taken away because it is the only thing that will hurt her. Meanwhile, a fan blamed Harry, wrote, "I'm feeling anger toward her husband at the moment for cowering in her shadow while she shames his family and those who covered for him during all his misdeeds. His family rallied for his wedding and poured all that pomp, ceremony, and money into it, and now it means nothing. They provided a fancy home because of their jealousy of being the second born. Both Harry and Meghan Markle got what they wanted and then fled after having a wine fest on TV, leaving all their responsibilities and loved ones in their wake. Such shamefulness, and yet we are supposed to be lectured by them? They are both awful beyond description. Meghan Markle's resume was littered with this kind of behavior, but Harry especially? How could you? A fan replied to him, "Well, Harry, standing up for himself when meeting the Queen will likely not go as well, as there is also Prince Philip, Prince Charles, and William who will undoubtedly not take Harry disrespecting the Queen well or lightly. Her Majesty holds the cards in this game. Watch out, Meghan, or you will find yourself without money and fame you crave so much, like Edward and Mrs. Simpson did once when their novelty wore off." But, a fan wrote, what must the poor Queen think of this? Every single British person knows how a member of the royal family is meant to behave. Yet, this self-centered narcissistic woman doesn't know and doesn't care, because it's all about herself. She is a disgrace. She insults the monarchy and the country who gave her the peg up and welcomed her with open arms. And if people have paid this money, they have no sense. Would they have paid it if she was just the actress in a Canada soap still? And the last one concluded, "You've got to laugh at her. All those Zoom calls desperate to push her voice and opinions down everyone's throats. She can't get enough of them. Now she wants to charge exorbitant fees for the privilege of her preaching at us? She's so addicted to fame and having her voice heard, it's not funny. Yet more hypocrisy from her. Can she not see what she's actually like? It's so very sad and embarrassing." And you? Do you agree with these opinions? Please leave your views for us below in the comment section and we can discuss them together. If you think my video is useful, remember to like and share it with anyone you think will also love it like you. And don't be afraid to subscribe to the Sussex Daily News team to get more news about the royal family. Now have a nice day and see you this afternoon.